Hey class, we're back again, and here we're looking at example 3 from chapter 8.2. So again, we're reasoning with rates to solve a rate problem. So here Paula is asked to order snacks for an office meeting of about 180 people, and she decides to order dessert squares, which come in boxes of 24. She estimates that she's going to need 2.5 squares per person. I don't know if that means someone's going to bite a square and then put it back, but how many boxes should she buy? So this is not unlike a lot of the math you did in Math 10. You'll notice that you're starting out, you have about 180 people. You know that the squares are sold in boxes of 24, and you know you need a rate of about 2.5 squares per person. So what is the ultimate goal? It's for us to figure out how many boxes do we actually need to buy. So let's start with what we do know. We figure we have about 180 people. So if I start with 180, and I'm going to do PPL for abbreviation, I think that's pretty common. I have 180 people. Now what I need to figure out is how many squares do I actually need? Well, let's see if I can find a rate that converts me from people all the way up to squares. And I'll use SQ as my squares. Okay. So if you'll notice, the rate right here is 2.5 squares per person. That's the rate that I'm looking for. So every one person, or one people, is 2.5 squares. So if I was to stop here, I would end up getting rid of people and staying at squares. But I'm not interested in how many squares I need. I want to know how many boxes I should buy. So we can't get less than 24 in a box. So how many squares are there for every one box? And we know that there are going to be 24 squares, as seen here, for every one box. So again, going back to your Math 10, we're simply going to multiply the numerators, multiply denominators, and do the division. Or you can set that up so you do 180 times bracket 2.5 divided by 1 multiplied by 1 over 24. So what I'm going to do in my calculator is I'm going to do 180, and I'm going to multiply that by 2.5 because I know that 2.5 divided by 1 is still 2.5. I'm then going to multiply that by opening a bracket and writing 1 divided by 24, and that's going to represent my final rate there. So when I do that out, I end up with 18.75 boxes. And so they're not going to let you order 0.75 of a box. So if you actually need enough squares to cover everybody, you're looking at needing, so Paula needs 19 boxes. Okay, and so there's an example of solving a problem or reasoning to solve a rate problem. Very, very similar to what you did in Math 10.